This is Paul. Yes. I was just looking at the 14th Amendment, the amendments to Constitution, the amendment to the United States Constitution. Yes. Extends to every U.S. citizen, to everyone born in this country, as well as anyone who undergoes naturalization. Prior to this amendment ratified in 1868, people were citizens of individual states. Oh, then there's that frame up a plot to incriminate an innocent person in a crime. Oh, now this 14th Amendment that extends to every citizen of the United States, yes, that includes those that go to school. Is that right, Coach? Now let's see. I give you the documentation that I was not given any due process. You made up some bullshit that I have to motion a court. I inform you what the requirements of the RCWs of the state of Washington are. Yes. What the requirements of the Violence Against Women's Act is, where you have to have personal jurisdiction and subject matter jurisdiction. Yes. You say, well, we don't have to have the signature of the petitioner. We can play God. Pooch. I said, no, you're going to have to remove the protection order, the fraudulent use of state court seals. Yes. The forgery of the ex officio superior court clerk. Yes. No actual notice or opportunity to be heard. Right. The serving me in the Squim Public Library. Pooch. And then the attempt of service of somebody else after you had served me as the respondent. Yes. Then you actually served someone other than myself on the 27th of August. Right. Now, my 5 sons, they have what's known as rights as citizens, where I, as their father, could find out if they've been viewing anything that I would find objectionable as a Christian man. Pooch. But you don't enforce the rights of students of America's school system. And then my wife had custody of them for the last 7 years when you gave her custody, and I wasn't a resident of Washington State. Now today you're going to get one of those lawsuits that is going to be far-reaching. It's one of these violating of the actual First Amendment right to separation of church and state, where the state of Washington wouldn't enforce the requirements of the law, and the United States wouldn't enforce the requirements of the law. In fact, no nation throughout the world would actually enforce the requirements of the law, and all of those church leaders throughout the nation that they thought they did know best about how we should go as a nation, where they signed manifestos saying, well, this is the actual evangelical stance throughout the nation, and I'm that father that happened to make some videos that you did get the documentation that the issuance of court orders without any due process, manner, notice, and opportunity doesn't have to be enforced because you're God and you're law enforcement. Now, I'm going to sue every church leader of this nation that's broadcasting anything into their denominations or congregations that influences their thoughts so as to not have the state, known as the United States of America or their individual states, influence their thoughts other than what they see with their eyes and think with their own brains. Ooch! Now, somebody said we were going the way. Now you're fucked today, do you understand? Now, I'm saying that when church leaders sign a document that this is their position, and then I find out they use illegal technologies to actually twist the brains of those in their congregations so as to accept the way that we are going or we are not going. Oh, I'm going to want to know, of all the leadership of this nation that said that we're congregational leaders, every document they themselves have signed that they said this is our position. Now, child abduction should have been one of the big no-nos of those in Christianity. than kidnapping my son's pooch, exploiting them. In fact, there's this woman that's holding Legina in a picture in a Rotarian newsletter. Yes. Why is it that I have not been able to speak to Marilyn Van Proyen? Is it that the King's way was going the way of cloning the citizens, and all we needed to do was take the TVs of the public schools and private schools and then broadcast something? Well, why don't you get me every private Christian school in this great nation? I'd like to know every TV that they have. Did you say we were going to come to find out? Was it one of... Oh, you decided to, as a church, go the way of the government. You're going to enforce the laws, and I will sue every church leader of this nation